Hello, my name is Brett Underwood, and my partner is Ashley Fries. And for our integrated literacy unit project, we decided to pick The Outsiders. So the content area that the project will be focused on and we're going to teach the class for is American history for students in the 9th grade. And this course examines the history of the United States of America from the 1800s to the present. So our students are getting a whole gambit of everything from right after the Revolutionary War all the way up to the present day. So we wanted to kind of focus on an aspect that we believe changed the whole United States as it is, which is the Great Depression and the times after. And it's we still see an impact in today's society because the citizens that were born in that time, that were alive and have seen America grow, are still around, but they're also beginning to fade out. So we're beginning to see new people kind of come in. So we thought it was really important to teach our students the impact that the past can have on the present. So it says countries past have shaped the nature of the country today, and understanding how these events came to pass and their meaning for today's society is the citizens' purpose of this course. So it's, again, that was a learning standard from Ohio's new learning standard. But again, we really just wanted to emphasize how the past shapes the world today. And for our particular group of students, that's sometimes a very hard concept for them to grasp. So we thought that this novel and The Outsiders would be a really good way to connect the two.
We chose this novel because it's extremely impactful for the high schoolers. We work with students between the grades of 8th through 11th graders, so we wanted them to be able to connect their experiences to the experience of the book. You'll notice in green there are two different things that I'll have my students go into. One is we'll present the stereotypes, and there will be pictures that come up that'll help them with that connection. And then another one is the Outsider trailer that my students will watch to help understand the book before we get into it and talking about the stereotypes, gangs, and racial inequality. We chose this novel.
So the strand of the Ohio Standards for Academics that we're going to focus on is the American history strand. Our project also focused on the government, geography, and a bunch of other strands, but we thought that American history would be the most relevant in this video because that's the class we're teaching it in. And the big one for us was Statement 19. Movements such as the Harlem Renaissance, African American migration, and women's suffrage and prohibition all contributed to social change. So we really just wanted to show our students that everything has to do with social change. So everything, if you try and you make an impact, whether it's moving the Renaissance, so you come up with new creative ideas, or you're a woman and you just stand up for yourself, that it has a huge impact on the world in the future. And that's something we really want to show our students, that, again, that the actions of today's society make an impact on our future. So we need to make sure that our actions are targeted and purposeful and not just willy-nilly, because the future is impacted by them.
There are 3 different lesson plans here that we're going to talk about that are our major lesson plans. The first one you're going to see here in the green, and I'm going to move over to it. So if you can see, it's going to incorporate a bunch of different things. So essentially, this is going to be the pre-reading activity, and on here, there's going to be about 4 to 5 different lessons that will engage with the students over a course of a few days. The second one that says the Outsiders character chart, the students will be working on throughout the book to help them to stay organized as a graphic organizer. And the last one, we're going to be doing it 2 different parts. The first time we'll do it is a review after chapter 3, and this will be a smaller book project that the students will pick, and there's a bunch of different ones there, so that way it's hitting each of the students' area of interest, and then we'll do it again at the end of the book as an overall book project as well.
And then just another things we wanted to highlight are the reading strategies we used. So we used an anticipation guide, bio impressions, bookmarks, sketching connections, a study guide, and then a KWL chart. So know what you learned and then what you still want to learn. And then, so on the screen is an example of a bio impression on one of the main characters, Johnny, done by not a student of ours, just one that we found on the internet that was just a really good impression of what they think and how they're impacted by this specific character. Another reading strategy that we wanted to highlight is sketching connections, and we chose to incorporate sketching connections during the reading as a way to allow students to reflect on what they're reading in a unique way. So for our students, they usually get really upset and just are adversary towards writing. So we're making them read a ton and a lot of writing assignments. So we wanted to incorporate a way that allowed them to be a little more creative, but also demonstrate how they reflect on what we're reading in class. A writing assignment that we wanted to highlight is Johnny versus the People. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but there's a really big fight scene between the rival gang and the outsiders. And so Johnny ends up in a scuffle and something happens. And so our students were tasking them with, do they think Johnny's innocent or not? So their job is they need to go in the book. They're going to team up in groups. You got to go back to the book, go back to the text, and find the evidence of yes, he's innocent or no, he's not. And then they're going to debate in a way. And the teachers will choose the best side, whichever we believe defended it. Not our personal belief, but more like who used the text the most and who had the best teamwork. Because we want to focus on during this writing assignment is communication, them using the text to support their viewpoints, and then just overall basic writing skills. For our population of students, we always want to incorporate team building, communication skills, anger management skills, everything we can, because that's what our students need, as well as academics. So in this assignment, they encompass all of those skills.
The goal of our ILU project was to incorporate a bunch of different texts, and through that, to teach history in a fun and engaging way.